Right, greetings to all and sundry, Chancellor North Wales here. This is the my video discussion for January 2013, and what we'll be doing is starting off with quick some thank you for all the posts on the 228 build. Very much appreciated. Feedback always goes down well, and it was certainly an interesting little one. A nice simple build to open up the year with, something not too heavy, and I enjoyed the project from that perspective. So once again, thanks for all the feedback. Right, now we're going to get into projects for 2013. Right now I have on my painting table, modelling table, the A model Yak 27R, and here is the work in progress. And yes, before we all point out the gaps, this kit is a serious filler queen, and fit issues absolutely abounded. There's going to be a full build video for this, and I must admit I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But this is certainly not a model that I would recommend for a new modeler. You need, I think, at least 10 kits under your belt before you approach something from these guys. The edge panel lines are lovely. The subject matter for me is very much a major motivator. The kit quality is not particularly good, and in particular in terms of areas of fit, everything on this has to be trimmed, sanded down, filed, reworked, and all of that will come out in the build video. I must admit I'm thoroughly enjoying the build. I've had quite a bit of fun adding a little bit of extra detail to the cockpit, in particular the navigator's position, but general issues of build on this are pretty horrendous, to say the least. So yeah, I'm looking forward. It's going to be painted in using Alclad to give it a nice shiny metal finish, and but that won't be done until all the gaps are properly filled, sanded, polished down, and probably with a fair bit of rescribing as well. Nonetheless, it's very much an aircraft of its era, and with my mind pretty aesthetically pleasing lines. So yeah, I'm having fun with this one. It's in my mind coming along reasonably well. So that's what's currently on the go. Now, onto the subject of what new kits have entered the stash, and where some of these are going to fit in with my planned builds for the year. So, to benefit from the deal at Model Zone for 3 kits for the price of 2, I went there in December, bought the kits, then gave them to my family, told them to wrap them and put them under the tree. So, what new additions are there to the stash? Well, take a look. The starting off with the mill to US Hoplite from Hobbyboss, really representing the start of or an early mill that led to all their other wonderful machines. Reason I got it is, I must admit, I really like the Hobbyboss helicopter kits. They are very nice builds. They go together very well. They've got reasonable interior detail, and they just come out very pleasingly. I've built from them the HH-60J Jayhawk. That's the US Coast Guard version of the Seahawk, and the Black Cat's Fleet Air Arm Lynx, both of which I found to be exceedingly pleasurable builds. So definitely a subject matter. This is a nice, relatively small helicopter kit, and I don't know when this one, to be honest, is going to be built. But there will be a build video coming up for it. I don't know if it'll be this year though. Right, the second one. Now, this is it's a Ravel re-release of a classic Matchbox set. The Camera PR9. Now what you're looking at here is typical Matchbox race panel lines, 1980s detail levels, so really nothing to write home about. However, it's a good kit for the money, it's a recon platform, and my feelings are that a few years ago, as the Canberras were being retired, I was fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time to see one do a touch and go at an airfield. As I think they were doing a quick run around the country to say farewells for the places they've previously alighted. I was also fortunate enough to have a rummage around the Canberra at the Gatwick Aircraft Collection and have reference photos from there. So this is definitely an aircraft I think I'm glad to have it in the collection. I want to build this particular one as a ceiling hanger. The reason being, it's recon. You want something to hang high up. The Airfix kit, when I do get around to getting one and building one, it will be the one I put on the display shelf because the detail level is better. It's the kind of thing you can have it on a club display table. This with the lower detail levels and everything else, and I think is a model that I would be building much more for the aesthetic purposes. So that's a Canberra PR9 from Ravel. The third one was another kit from Ravel, and this one really bringing us right up to date in the world of aviation. The Sukhoi T50. I don't believe it even yet has a NATO code name. It'll be interesting to see what it is once the powers that be get together and decide to allocate it. Very much the Russian challenge to the Raptor, and it is quite a sizable kit. For 1/72nd scale aircraft, this isn't small by any stretch of the imagination. Say a footprint will be similar to that of the MiG-31. So it's going to be interesting. It's has the fuselage split into horizontal halves rather than a vertical split. Again, I'm not sure when this will be built, and I'll get to explaining what the build schedule is going to be for this year in a few few minutes. I think this is, as you can well imagine, it's an up-to-date moulding, and I think it should be a fairly vice-free kit. It also has that splinter camouflage that was the inspiration for the scheme on my what if build of the Mil36. Now, between Christmas and the New Year, I took my youngsters down to London to see my mum, and which gave me an excuse to visit the Hannon's model shop in the Hendon Aircraft Museum. Also gave me an excuse for a good rummage around Hendon as well, as if I need an excuse to go there. And I've worked out that I must have visited that museum at least 36 times now, having visited it every year since the age of 6. Is probably well above that. Okay, 38 times, something like that. Anyway, I've been visiting that museum for an awfully long time, so I couldn't come out the Hannon's model shop empty-handed. So what we have here is another Hobbyboss. The Mi20 for Hind E. Again, I bought it because I love Hobbyboss kits. I have a serious soft spot for the Hind, and this is a Hind I will be building closed up. The reasoning behind that is going to come out fairly soon. This has all the features I love of the Hobbyboss kit: the reasonable internal detailing. Oh yeah, needs a bit of extra work in terms of fuselage, internal structure, elements, those kind of things. But it lends itself to it, and the quality is to the standards I've come to expect from Hobbyboss. So that's was my other purchase, alongside some alkali paint for other projects. But anyway, so that's the new additions to the stash. Right, having looked at the new additions to the stash, now it's time to consider what builds are going to be taking place this year. The definite builds are those that I've subscribed to for Brit Modeler Group builds, and there are 3 of them this year: the Swing Wing group build, the Helicopter group build, and the Seaplane group build. I've got my kits pre-planned for 2 of them, and the first one to look at is going to be the Swing Wing group build. For that, I've got this bird lined up. There's a Vesta Su24. This is aircraft that's very much from the 1980s era. Would fall into the category of being the Russian F-111. The kit comes in the Soviet Navy markings, and considering the level of weathering possible, that's what I will be building it in. My only dislike about the kit is its shortfall in standoff weapons. It has all the munitions on there are freefall weaponry, and from a modelling point of view, I do rather like the older surface-to-air missiles. Whether I'll dig out some is another matter. That's not to say it doesn't come with a very admirable range of ordnance. The kit itself, recessed panel lines, reasonable cockpit. One thing that I don't much like is the wheel wells are closed off. In other words, as the gear comes down, the bay doors open, then they close back up, just leaving the area where the wheels are protruding. And they don't do the fill wheel well. When you look at reference pics, quite often you'll see them fully closed up, but you also see them with the other doors open, and that's personally how I like to model the aircraft, or at least have the option to do so. So I think that's a bit of a shortcoming from the way I like to work. Even so, I think it looks like a good kit, and should make for an interesting build. The second of the group builds is the helicopter, the rotary wing group build. That's pretty inevitable, I'd sign up for that. Now what do I have for this? The Mi35 Hind E. Now, by Vesta. The reason why I want to use this particular one for the build is because the level of detail on this is absolutely lavish. You've got fully detailed engine, good cockpit, good interior, proper opening cockpit doors. This is a kit I want to build fully opened up. So definitely one for that. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't much like the Hind E colour schemes. Much prefer the Mi35, the MIL24 schemes. But that said, painted the required dark green, unless I can find some other scheme online, and then have it with the engine bays open, cabin doors open, cockpit doors open, you know, letting it all hang out on this one. And the kit lends itself to it. So, looking forward to doing this. Looking forward to have some real fun with this one. The third group build, which I don't actually have a kit lined up for yet, but I know what I'd like to build, is the seaplane group build. And I've realised that in my stash I don't have any 1/72 scale seaplanes, float planes or amphibians. So I've been having a bit of a rummage and online, and I dug up the Camov KA-15M, which is a float equipped version of one of the earlier contra-rotating Camov helicopters. I'll probably be ordering that from Hannon's. It's another A model kit, so could be an interesting one in terms of the work level required. Certainly won't be a shake and bake. But it'll also be a nice scheme, because I got a feeling in this group build there's going to be a plethora of Catalinas, Sunderlands and the such like. Ironically, it's not really what would have been my first choice for a build. And I will be discussing a little bit more of that in the next section. However, the other things that are going to be built this year, after finishing this Yak 27, I've really got to try and get my camo finished. As if you guys look back on my builds around June, July last year, I was going to town, and I thought it was going to be a double build, to be honest with you, but I was going to town on serious detailing up of the Ravel Camov 29, and once you've done all this work, you've got to carry on with it. So I'm going to, once this Yaklov is out of the way, I'll be cracking on with this to get this finished off, and then probably build the Hobbyboss one separately, but build it as I intended to, closed up. So that's, because when that's built, the space is cleared on my desk. So that's what I would say would be my definite builds for the year. And in the next chunk we will look at um, other possibilities, other new stuff that's coming out. Right, the next topic I want to consider is what I would call the unconfirmed builds. And overlapping with this is the kits that haven't yet been released and I'm particularly looking forward to seeing this year. Right, top of the list is, and I would suggest checking out the company websites for these, is Airfix are releasing a new mould, 1/72 scale English Electric Lightning. Yeah, definitely. I think that kit, when I get my hands on it, is going to be a serious queue jumper. It'll be straight from the shop to the bench fairly quickly, and built in the full metallic finish. Go to town on it like that. I'm expecting this kit to be resplendent with Airfix's current standards, and to be a most pleasurable build. And I'm not sure when in the year it's being released, but it's very much on top of my list of eagerly awaited models. Another interesting one, and is they're releasing the 1/72 scale Vampire Trainer. So the two-seater version of the classic Vampire Jet. I have the single-seater Ravel kit in my stash, and yeah, the Vampire is significant for this part of the country in that it was built up the road here at the Broughton factory, and so it's an aircraft very much with a local heritage. There's an Air Cadet squadron near here that has one parked up outside that the cadets have a poke around and have some training fun with, whatever it is that they do. So that's another one to look out for. Then from Trumpeter, there are two aircraft to be looking out for, well certainly from my point of view. One is the Briev BE-12 Cheka, that's the Russian turboprop-powered twin-engined flying boat. And I was hoping to build that for the group build, but I've got no idea whether it'll be released by then, so I'm not making any assumptions on that. If it's out and available through Hannon's, then yeah, I may well get hold of it. The other one that I'm also looking forward to is, again from Trumpeter, is they're releasing a Grumman Albatross, that classic post-war seaplane that seems to soldier on a number of roles in numerous air forces. And I think that's a kit that really does need to be built and released. I would probably say in terms of size, you're looking at something that's going to be a little bit smaller than a Canada CL 415. So you're really talking about an aircraft that sits in the size region of a Douglas DC-3 Dakota. Lovely lines and a classic aircraft that lends itself to adaptation and utilisation in numerous services. I say Trumpeter are releasing that, so I'm expecting it to be a good kit that's not obscenely priced either. So other stuff in other scale, well, that doesn't fall into stuff that I build, but I know that guys watching this may well take an interest in, and this is looking at really from the Airfix release list. Firstly, for all of you Tiffy fans, all new 1/72 scale Hawker Typhoon. Their old mould has been around for far too long, and it really is in need of replacement. So I'm sure that kit will see plenty of them out on the club tables at Telford this year. The 1/72nd scale Gloucester Gladiator. Roden did a great job with their 1/48th one a few years ago, and I think yes, one in 1/72nd, considering what Airfix did with the Swordfish, is most appropriate. You'll probably have Gladiator C, Gladiator, Multicross Gladiator, and a whole range of them, including aircraft with skids and in finish markings. So definitely, for those of you who like the really an aircraft that represents the ultimate incarnation of the biplane in British service, one to look out for. The other one is a new FW190. The Airfix mould is old. There's plenty of these out, but let's just see if, considering Airfix's recent run, how good a job they make of this. I expect it to be another cracking kit. It might not end, it won't end up in my build pile, I can't deny that. But still, you know, hats off to them for doing so. And the final one, which this really bugged me because it is in 1/48 scale, yeah, it's an aircraft I would love to build, is a Gloucester Javelin. Nicknamed the Flying Smoothing Iron. Certainly not the most elegant of the post-war jets, but still a very significant aircraft nonetheless. And a bit like the Sea Vixen, which, come on Airfix, if you've done them in 1/48s, please can we start seeing them in 1/72 as well? I am very certain it's going to be an incredibly popular release, particularly amongst British modelists wanting something a little bit different. So definitely one to look out for you guys. The 1/48 scale Gloucester Javelin. Right. Now to some shout-outs. I must admit I've had the time recently to have a bit more of a rummage at what's going on YouTube. So I'll start off with a guy whose inclination appears to be slightly more down the science fiction line. A gentleman by the name of SimonCressey. I will put down. Oh, sorry, Cressey. I will put down. I will list his name in the vid info on this posting. He's did a great kit review for the Battlestar Galactica, and that's a build I am looking forward to seeing being done. So take a look at him, subscribe to him, and let's see how that build progresses. I think that's going to be quite fascinating. Now a chap from Spain, goes by the name of Spitfire 2010. Spitfire with the SPITTFIRE 2010. He recently put out a video of a build on a Mark Type 9 U-boat. Some very nice paintwork and weathering there. So another chap worth checking out. And an English gentleman by the name of StevenDawson. He's started doing some kit reviews as well. Enjoy his presentation, enjoy listening to the stuff he's putting out there. So if you're not subscribed to him already, give him a look-see, join his channel. Good to see another UK modeler doing some rather nice work. So that's a quick run of shout-outs. Right, this second chat, this next part is really talking about the way we display our models. The view you see here is looking over one of my display shelves. And what I've done here is, and I mean this is something I want to do for quite a while, is why should all the railway modellers have all the fun when it comes to scenery and that side of it? So I've seen this with other guys' work as well. This is using some green boards, road boards I'd made originally for wargaming, but seem to be quite possible for hard standing. And so you're kind of looking over what is the start of RAF Lagergarib, named after the town in Dylan St Thomas's great work under Milkwood. Been really trying to think about some way of incorporating my fondness for the works of that great writer into scale modelling, and having a small RAF station set on the southwest coast of Wales seems as good a reason as any. And so in that view you can see the Hasegawa Sea Harrier, Ravel Harrier GR3. Oh crikey, speaking of the Harriers, the FX are also releasing a new Harrier GR3 and GR1 kits this year in 1/72, so something else to be looking out for there. The Ravel Fairy Gannet, the Italieri Merlin helicopter, basically the version of the Huey that is operated by the British in Belize, and also a Westland Wessex. So as I said, I was able to make some mods, and in a minute in the next view, because what I don't really like doing is this camera bouncing about and stuff. So if you hold on a moment, I'll just show how this shelf is secured. Right, what can be seen here is the view from my desk looking upwards, and what effectively I've done there is glued roughly a 2 foot by 4 foot board to the top of a bookcase. If I make it any bigger, I'll have to put in some bracketry to deal with the cantilever effect. But that's really all it is, a board glued to the top of a bookcase, and hopefully it won't detach itself and knock some sense into me. Thankfully it's not in a position that when I stand up I clap myself with it either. So I suppose we'll continue in this. I'll try and keep my hands steady. And what you can see there is 2 more display shelves. With this one here being my Russian display shelf. During the Christmas season I took the opportunity to do a bit of sorting and tidying up here in the man cave, and in anticipation of more stuff being built I've certainly endeavoured to increase my display capacity. Looking up you can also see where I have some of my US Coast Guard subjects as well, the Osprey, and behind that a Jayhawk, and there's also a Westland Wyvern up there. Right, having shown the shelf, what are the thoughts of what to do with it? Well, if just a bit plain like that seems a bit dull, and I should explain that before I returned to scale aircraft modelling I've been doing an awful lot of wargaming stuff in 20mm armour, that side of it, and that also included 20mm scenery. And one thing that I did find myself enjoying, I made quite an awful lot of kits by a company called Metcalf and Superclip Quick, which is cardboard buildings. And what I have here is the Metcalf 00 scale bus garage, and it's a set that lends itself to so many airfield scenes. I mean, you don't need to have Route Masters and London's or other cities' buses in there. It could be the MT shed for an airfield. You could also accommodate some, most I would say, single-engine First World War aircraft would sit quite comfortably in there. So you could have hangers, empty sheds, with the offices alongside, as indicated here, being the crew room. It's a flexible little set, and certainly something you can do something with. They show the options there as well. So that may well end up appearing there. I also have in the stash the well-known Airfix control tower. And for those of you who are into your Second World War modelling, another thing Airfix are releasing is a ground support set for World War II. Things like the Austin Tilley, munitions, tractors and trailers. Something to add a little bit more life, and I think it's been particularly aimed up at Bomber Command. Because the other new release for this year, and I wrote it down on here, is Airfix are releasing a new 1/72 scale Lancaster, including multiple versions of this venerable and much loved aircraft. So, time allowing, yes, I think there will be a little bit of dressing up of RAF Lagarib going on this year. So that really marks the end of this ramble discourse. If you have any comments, feedbacks, be great to hear them. If there's subjects you'd like me to discuss, explore, be it on the aviation historical side or kit side or modelling, please let me know. Over the years, I should explain, I'm an absolute dyed-in-the-wool aircraft nut. That's what motivates me. Let us know, and you'll get a video on it. So, thanks for listening. Been some great videos posted about recently. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing you guys work, and until next time, which will probably be in this case the build vid for the Yak 27. Happy modelling, guys.